Now, I'm having my Windows server. I'm having uh, two clients. This is client A, that is Ade. I'm also having client B, that is Ola. So I can as well have more than two clients, depending. I cannot as well have more than two clients, depending on how I want it to be. If we can have 10 staffs, we can have 20 staffs, we can have 30 staffs, depending. The principle we are applying now is same thing we are going to use for every other thing. So after this class, I'm going to share my video because so I'm going to share my contacts because there are some people that are joining that are not from this group. After this class, they may not be able to reach me. So I'm going to share my contacts after this class. So please use the chat if you have a question so that we will attend to you properly. Now, I'm kicking off the class. Why do we need Windows Server in an organization? You need to understand. If we are in a traditional way of networking, work group, everybody is connected together. If everybody goes to the internet at the same time to pick stuff, it will pull down the bandwidth. Bandwidth comes down. So, so therefore, if we have a server and everybody goes to the internet, anything you push down, it will be saved in the cache of your server. So that next time you want to go and pull it, you go to that cache and pull it, not from the internet. So the response time to be able to get that what you want, the response time will be faster, and also it will save bandwidth. Now, and again, to manage users, a user forgot password in workgroup environment, it is very difficult. You have to format the system. But in domain environment, go to the server and reset password, which I am going to teach you about today. So I'm going to dwell so much on group policy so that you will understand better on group policy. So I've installed my Windows server. This is one Windows server, but we can have two Windows server. So one will be a domain controller. The second one will be additional domain controller in case of disaster, in case of failure. When one fails, the second one will come up. If we understand this well and better, I can now be coming up with a training of recovering your server when the server got burnt. How do you recover your server with the aid of the second domain controller, which we have, which is on the pipeline? So I want you to grab this fast so that we can proceed in learning so many things. Now, I'm having one domain controller. For you to install this server, you must first of all do what we call RAID configuration. When you have a physical server, you must install, configure your RAID. Since server comes with smart array to enable RAID configuration. We have RAID 1, RAID 0, meaning no RAID, RAID 1,
Hello, Emmanuel.
RAID,
Hello, hello, Emmanuel.
yeah, yeah.
Please, we have some hands up. I think they're saying they can't hear. Oh, let me just try to unmute the person.
Okay. Or maybe just unmute them. If they need to ask, they will just unmute themselves and talk. Maybe that would be better.
Okay.
Since we're like doing it like a classroom, just unmute them. eh, Unmute them. So anybody that wants to talk, unmute yourself, talk, I respond, we go back. Oladele, you have anything to say? You are raising up your hand. Hi, Oladele. Maybe just click it. I don't think it's unmuted already, but I don't think he has anything to say. Oladele, if you have something to say, unmute yourself and talk. Okay, let me proceed. Now, I'm talking about RAID configuration. So RAID configuration is a very simple one. Just you use online and it's seamless. Once you just uh, go to the smart intelligent provisioning, it's called intelligent provisioning, you will see it here. In the advent of generation 6 downward, it comes at smart start. There's a CD, you will put that CD, that smart start CD to run the installation. But with the advent of the higher generation 10 that we have presently, it is called intelligent provisioning, no longer smart start. Smart start ends with the older generation. Now it's intelligent provisioning. Use intelligent provisioning to configure your RAID and also manage your server. Now, we can configure RAID 1, RAID 5, RAID 6, and RAID 10, RAID 1 plus 0. RAID 1 is just 2 hard disk. When one hard disk goes bad, you can pull out one and replace with a new one. It will rebuild. RAID 5 comes with 3 hard disks. That's the default. I can choose to have 5 hard disks and I want to use RAID 5. So RAID 5, but the least I can use is 3 hard disks. RAID 5. Once one hard disk is bad, I can plug in another hard disk and rebuild. But when 2 hard disks goes bad in RAID 5, it's lost. RAID 6 can manage that. RAID 6 can manage when 2 hard disks goes bad. Still 3 hard disks as the minimum, but can manage when 2 hard disks goes down. But the difference between RAID 6 and RAID 5 is that RAID 5 is faster, has faster throughput than RAID 6. So you can read up all this on YouTube while we go straight. Other please put down your hands. You are distracting us. Okay, I've lowered it on. I think it's just a click. Okay, now I'm sharing my screen right away, which I believe everybody can see my screen. This is my Windows server. I want to log into my Windows server. The first thing you do on your Windows server is you give it an IP. You give it an IP. You change, give it a computer name, a meaningful computer name, and so on. I'm going to show you where you have to be doing all that when my server comes up. Okay, my server is up. So my server manager is coming up. Okay, so you will be using local computer, local server. You will leave the dashboard. You will come to local server. This is my computer name. I'll change it to AD. And I also change the GMT time zone to GMT to West Africa +1. That is all I did. And we are going to assign an IP address. But before I assign an IP address, I want to do something. Since we are going to be doing group policy, we are going to be doing group policy, I will need the file on this system. I wanted to put it, but I said no. I want to do it with you people. So follow me as I go. Take note, my on my virtual switch, on my virtual switch, I put host only, which I cannot access on my system. So I want to use NAT. I want to switch it to NAT. So if I switch it to NAT, create a folder called share. I want to share it, properties, sharing, advanced sharing, then share. Permission, I just want to give it every permission, but depending on the type of permission you want. Okay, so I can understand. Let me change the name. Share doc. Because I use shared. So just use something that is, I want everyone, you understand this. Don't, this is just a lab purpose. You just share it with the exact people. So that's number one. Step two, CMD. I want to get the IP address. IP config. Take note. Remember, I told you something about NAT. NAT will not the IP address of my physical system. My physical system is not this. This is the IP it gives me. If you come to my physical system, you will get another IP. My physical system IP is this. Can you see? For the 3.0 network. But because NAT will NAT and give it an IP, it's writing on for the 3.0 network, but gave me 72.0 network. So I want to reach, I will now come and put a window R 128 administrator. Good, I can access it. So I want to go and drop the package. I want to prepare my document for good policy before we continue. Okay. So I have it on the server already. Please mute your system. Mute your mic. Can you see? I have it on the server already. So I will now go back to my settings. I change it back to host only. Good. Okay. So server manager, I'm starting right away. I want to check. Nobody's on the lobby. Okay. Then add rows. Take notes. Come to tools. You can see there's nothing like Active Directory, anything here. It's not no single Active Directory component. So after our installation, you will see how it will. Don't come back now. I want to give it an IP address of 10.1.1.1 as my server class A.
kò tí wọ́n tètè gbàgbé nǹkan ọ̀gbìn nígbà ló jòkó sí owó kíní jáde ojú
Mute
ti
your
tèmi
mic.
ọmọ ọlọ́mọ tó ní bọ́ọ̀ ṣe síbi òun pé òun fẹ́ wáṣẹ́ ẹ bá a ṣe.
kí n bá a ṣe mo wà ní training ṣé máa fi training tí mo fẹ́ ṣe lẹ́ni ọ̀sán ló tó lè rí gbà mo ti sọ fún ọ̀sán ni.
So please let's all cooperate. Mute your mic is entering in. So Active Directory domain service is what I want to use.
Hello, Mr. Emmanuel. Can you unmute yourself, Mr. Emmanuel? I just unmuted you, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes, I've unmuted myself.
Okay, thank you.
I've unmuted myself. You're welcome. Thank you very much for the check. So I said in a domain controller or in a
Please
on
share
the
your screen
server.
again, Mr. Emmanuel.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Yes, we can.
Good. I said on if you are in configuring server, have something at the back of your mind. You must have a forest. In a forest, there are either a tree or trees in a forest and your domain. And domain is an empire where a king rules. So your domain is www.abc.com. It's a domain name. So we are going to create it now. We have installed the role that will enable the configuration, which we want to do now. So we have a domain controller. We have a backup domain controller, which is an additional domain controller, which is this first one. If I'm installing an additional domain controller, I will use add a domain controller to an existing domain. But there is no domain yet. That is why we're going to use add a new forest. So if I want to do a child domain, I will use the second one, add a new domain to an existing forest. So in this case, I'm going to use lab.com. I'm going to give it a password that will the same password with my admin, although it's not advisable. But the reason why I'm doing this is in case the server goes bad, that is the password you will use to recover it. It may take 2 years, it may take 3 years, it may take 10 years. Maybe by the time the server goes down, I've forgotten the password. So for lab purpose, I'm using the same. So in a practical environment, you should just not just use same. Make sure you separate them for security reasons. So I'm configuring now. They are seamless. Just understand it and take your time. Installation. Once I am done with my installation, the next thing is to install your rules and configure your Active Directory, depending on what you want to configure. At the end of this installation, I will show you that why this guy is called a domain controller. There is a role called primary domain controller role that this guy is holding. That role makes him a domain controller. Just like why are you called a father? It's not just by chance. You are called a father because there is a role that you are holding that makes you a father. So in as much that role is still with this server, it makes him a domain controller. That role is part of what we call FISMO role, flexible simple master operation, flexible single as
Hello, Mr. Emmanuel. Okay, we can hear you now. The network.
No, it's not network. I'm not talking. I'm waiting for the installation to be completed.
Okay.
So you can see my installation is completed now, which is very, very fantastic. So the next thing that will happen is it will reboot. It will reboot himself. So at this time, the rebooting might take some time. So you may be thinking there's a problem. There's no problem. Active Directory has been installed. So we have domain controller, additional domain controller, and a member server. When there are some applications you want to install, they will say they need that installation on a member server. You should understand what they want. A member server is just you having a server, install the server, connect the server to a domain controller like the way you connect your laptop. They don't want Active Directory instance to run on that server. That is what they mean. It's still a server machine. You understand? So you must know we have a domain controller, we have a backup domain controller, which is additional domain controller, and we have a member server. So my domain controller is getting ready. And remember, we have local credentials and we have domain credentials. So the domain controller enables domain credentials. The user I have, all these users, and they have local credentials. By the time I join them to the domain controller, I will create a domain credentials for them on the domain, which we're going to do together to see how to create users on the server. So my server is coming up. So once my server is up, I can either log in with the domain name /administrator, that's domain administrator, or administrator at lab.com, that's the domain name. You can use either lab, that's the domain name, /administrator, or administrator at lab.com. You are still pointing to lab.com. Whichever way you choose, you will log in as administrator, domain administrator, not local administrator. Because sometimes a lot of people do make mistake. They log in as local administrator and domain functions will not come in place because they didn't log in with their domain credentials. So I'm waiting for this guide to get completed. If you have any question, you can ask while we wait for it to get completed.
Okay, so guys, if you want to ask a question, just raise up your hand, then I would unmute you.
Good. Good. I'm done. So I log in. Here I use lab/administrator as I told you. I will now enter, or I come back here. It's still the same thing, lab. Then my domain is still the same thing. I just want you to see it. Good. Now I have logged in. So let my server manager load. I will show you again. You will say, look at my tools. You can see Active Directory. Active Directory things are there already. So the first thing I normally do is to configure my DNS, because DNS has two parts: forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone. This computer understand IP address. We cannot cram IP address for every website or from every devices. We use the name. So what DNS does, it maps name to IP and vice versa. The IP is ready, it's configured, which is this, is fine. but the reverse that will give me name is not configured. So I will right click it, I will configure it and put the IP 10.1.1. Depending on the IP address you have. I've configured it. That is all. I close it. So the next thing I want to do here is to go to my users and computers to create my organization units. These are my default groups users. And these are my group backup domain controller. These are the group I have, administrators, everything I have. So I don't want to use any of this. I want to create OU. You have admin, you have lab, you have I apply policy. You don't apply policy on everybody. You just apply to a particular group. I'll be creating OU, organization unit, called management. You can also create more management, admin, depending on how you want it. I just want to leave mine to management. You can create as many OU as possible. Use it to manage your user. I want to be as fast as possible so that we can go back to work. So I have a day Kolawole Ade. That's the login name. It could be Ade, it could be Ade.Kolawole, depending on the convention of the organization. I don't want him to log in to change password. But by default in corporate organization, you leave it this way, you will now have your own password for administration. This password is what we use to onboard new users, new system. So you give it to them. When they log in with that password, it will not give them room to put their own password the way they want it. But since this is lab, I don't want to go to that. So I want to use ASDF 1234, full stop. That's my own password. And I want to have another user called Ola Emmanuel. Ola. Good. So I will now come to my Ade to join it to domain. To join to domain, you must give it an IP and DNS. Very, very important. IP address. Remember, I'm on class A 10.0 network. 10.1.1.2. Remember your DNS 10.1.1.1. Without DNS, this guy will not join the domain at all. So to join it to domain, click folder. We have different ways. We have like 3 ways or more to join to domain. But let me just show you this. You can. This is also where you change computer name, work group. So I just gave it lab.com. Good. Lab/administrator. Good. That's how to join system to domain. Please take note, put it on your CV. I can join system to domain. I can install Windows Server. I can configure Active Directory. I can create users. Before you know what is happening, half page is gone. So I want to do save to Ola. IP address. 10.1.1.3, 10.1.1.1. Join it to domain. Lab.com. Lab administrator. Good. So let me now log in. Since I've joined to domain, can you see it will give me other users? If I log into users, I'm logging into local user. So I want to log into user. This is Ade. Can you see Adekola Wale? The name comes up. So while this one comes up, let me just show you the effects. Active Directory users and computers. You can see this is where I have. If you have all your users, you have all of them here. All the people connected to your system. So I'm waiting to log into the other one before we move to Ade is still loading. So Allah also is still loading. Once both of them loads and they are fine, good. So we are done with Active Directory. So we will now move to the next one, group policy. So that we will now round off the class with that. I'll tell you so many things you can use group policy to achieve, so many things you can do with your group policy, and so many things you can achieve with it that will make your management very seamless and very easy. Okay, so I'll go to others. adulab slash administrator oh sorry and nobody corrected me. This should be Ola. Now let me show you something. Come back to active. Maybe the person, maybe Ola is or Ade is a temporary staff. I only want him to log in at a particular time. I don't want him to have full access. So I want to show you something. Sorry, I'm supposed to be on management. I'm supposed to be on Ade information, not on computer. I was checking computer the other time. So let me just open management, account. So you can see log on hours. So if I don't want Ade to log in on Sundays. I will just click Ade on Sunday. I will just select and click this guy. Meaning on Sunday, when Ade comes in to log in, Ade will be denied. On Monday, I don't want Ade to log in between 10 to 12. I will just, whichever way I want it. So you can deny login. You can do a whole lot of things, a whole lot. Okay. So login permitted and login failed. So in your lab, you can try out so many things. And sometimes if Ade should use wrong passwords to log in severally and the system is locked, you can come here and unlock Ade. And you can also reset Ade's password. Reset password. And once Ade leaves the organization, you can disable Ade's account. That is. So want to go to group policy. We want to be able to see. I will show you a lot of things group policy can do. Management, group policy management. So I'm going to use group policy to install Google Chrome to this guy. Maybe Firefox. Also, you can use it to deploy anything, to install anything on your client. You can also use it to do wallpaper or disable wallpaper. Anything you want to achieve. You can use it to block USB. You can use it to do so many things, which we're going to do together now. I'm going to just take you through the defaults. But before then, I will need to copy the shared address. Come to my shared folder. Right click on it. Click properties. Click properties. Click sharing. So look at the what you will copy, network paths, because you will use it. So I go back to my group policy. Domains, my domain name, so group policy object. This is where I can create my group policy object. So I will go and create new objects. Folder, redirection. Okay, let me first of all do installation. Software installation, GPO. Okay. The next thing, software installation GPO, is to go and apply my policy by editing it. Why is my system running slow? You click edit. Okay. So if you use computer configuration applies the entire system, while user configuration applies to the user. So I'm deploying software on the user. Sorry, I want to deploy software on the computer. I will come to my preference. Policies are, sorry, I will come to my policy. Policy are rules you set to bind on the users or on the system, while preference are those rules that takes them back to defaults. Okay. So I come to software, which is this. I come to software. I right click on my software. Okay, before then, let me collapse it. Right click, new package. Okay. Right click, properties. I paste the address of my parts. I right click again, new package. Can you see? Formerly, I couldn't see it, but now I can see it. I want to deploy Google first. In fact, I will deploy only Google. Assign or advance. Assign means it will install it. The user has no option. If it is published, the user will choose to install or not. But assigned will install it for me automatically. So let it has to drop here before we move. I will only do this for Google Chrome, and also do folder redirection. I will just talk about, tell you how you can apply the rest, then we'll round off. So this guy needs to drop before I move here. Good, it has dropped. Google Chrome. Okay. The third thing I need to do is to apply it. Apply it to management. Link an existing, look at it here, software installation. That's all. So go to the clients. Are they? You will not type to force the update. GP update / force. GP Sorry, let me go back to my group policy. I think I need to, okay, let me go back and create it, a new one, new, Chrome, install GPO, okay. Oh, I understand what happened now. Sorry. Let me go back. I need to link it to the OU, which I didn't do. Sorry. So let me just go and link it. I'm done with this window. Let me go and link it. Because it should tell me it's applying it. It's just applying it now, meaning it has seen something which the other one did not see. So I think it's working now. So once this one is done, I will now do folder redirection. We end the class. Good. Why the reboot is happening, let me do folder redirection straight away. Because of my timing. Okay, let me see. Okay, it's still coming up. So for folder redirection, we are going to use user configuration. That's all. Let me just quickly do that. Come to this, go policy objects, create new. Why that one comes up? Folder redirect GPU. You can use any name, it doesn't matter. Folder redirect GPU. Edit. I'll use user configuration. Policies. Folder redirection is this. So I can choose to redirect anything. I can redirect desktop. I can redirect, let me be redirecting them. I'm redirecting my desktop. You use basic. I can redirect my documents. So meaning that person's document is no longer sitting on the system. It's now sitting on my server. That's the meaning. I can redirect his downloads. So I'm done. So the next thing I need to do here is to map it to link it, folder redirect GPU. That's all. I'm done. So let's just check the reboot of the client. Once it comes up, can you see? I've successfully deployed Chrome. Let me go and see. I can also use it to do wallpaper. I don't have the time at my disposal. You can use it to do so many things. That's good policy. So I created this folder as shared folder. Okay. That's the folder. This is the folder I'm going to be using. Let me delete all this. I don't need them anymore for here, for this purpose. So I just want my shared stuff to be there. I've successfully deployed this. But take note, my deployment package is in MSI. So let me also do GP update. /force. I hope we're able to gain something from this class. Like I told some people, I told you people that will be giving you some secrets. You can walk up to companies. You tell them, I want to do maintenance of your system for you. You give yourself job. Or you can create something and impart knowledge, just like what I am doing. GP update /force. You don't just sit behind and say, no, nothing is working. So many things are working. Just reorganize yourself, and plan. So this is just the end of the class. Let's just see the output of this guy. So if you come back here now, you'll see their folders. Ade has rebooted, I've logged in. When the other one reboot too, if I open Ade, you will see all the folders I redirected. Take note, this is on domain controller. So if I save anything on Ade, okay, Ade is still logging in. Okay, Ola has not restarted. Once Ola reboots, you will see Ola too there. I know it should reboot itself. Once this guy comes up, anything I have here, if you double click it, it will tell you don't have rights, but you can give yourself rights. I click on it, I click on security tab, I click on advanced, I click on change permission, I give it to everyone. I replace the permission so that I can access and see what Ade is storing on his desktop. Good. So I can double click. This is Ade desktop. Let me save something into Ade's desktop and see from admin or from server. So let's go to Ade system. See from server. So anything that Ade has on his desktop, my document and download, administrator will see. So once I log in, Ola will come in here because I redirected Ola too. You see Ola? Ola is there too. So we can also use it to distribute wallpaper. We can use it to block so many things we want to block and do what we need to do. So if you can understand these basic concepts that we have done so far, you will go far. I don't know if we have any question. This brings me to the end of the class for this section. Any question, please? Please, I would like you to go back to the group. You go and drop your comments, how you feel about the class, how you enjoy the class. How you feel about the class? You enjoy the class? Put it there in IT professional group or any group you belong. So before I finally move up, my contact, if you're in IT professional group, you can reach me there. And if you're not in IPT professional group, you can reach me. You can reach me on my screen, as you can see. At my contact details. That's my contact details. Thank you very much. The meeting has come to a close. If you don't have any question, see you in the group again.
Okay, so I just enabled the mic for everyone. So you have the floor is open. If you want to speak, you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Is there any question? Unmute yourself and ask. I'm logging out. Any question? So if there is no question, I want to appreciate everybody for attending this class. So the video will be shared. I will upload it in my YouTube channel and share it as usual. Go there, download, and do more practice. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you for our host, Ade Fioye, Ade.
Thank you
You
very much.
enabled this section. I want to appreciate you so much. Thank you very much once again. Thank you all. Bye.